Good evening, everyone. Welcome to our session today, and thanks for joining me. And in this session, I'll be discussing a very important question that we have received from students all over the world that is going to benefit all of you. And if you are preparing to apply for the fall 2027, and then this session is for you. We are going to explain to you what you need to know before you apply, and you must know what the admission committees are looking for. If you're applying for PhD, you want to understand what are the professors are looking for. Masters, you want to know what are really the main focus of the admission committees. So this session is going to really explain to you what you need to know before you even begin your application. If you don't know what the admission committees are expecting from you, then it means that you cannot even get admission. So before you even start application, you must know what the admission committees are actually looking for. So this session is actually going to elaborate on the key points that you need to understand before you even start application. Okay, so the first thing is to the admission committees. I'll give you 4 points, and I will explain that to all of you. If you're joining me from my YouTube channel and also on Facebook, welcome to our session. This Greener Educational Consults, and we are based here in Florida in the US. And our goal is to make sure that we explain things to you before state application. So the first thing that to look at is your academic preparation. So I'll break down, and the next thing you'll also look at is your whether you are fit into the program. Okay, so if you are from a different field and you want to apply for another field, you will want to see if you are fit or not. So the next thing they look at is they look at your SOP and your CV as well, and also they also look at your reference letters that you submit. Okay, and then when they are going to make a decision for funding, they look at your skills, and then what is your main skills that you are bringing on board, and how can you contribute to a research of a professor. So those are the things that I'll be discussing in the next few minutes. So if you are here for your first time, this is Greener. And if you are been with us for a long time, welcome to our session again. And Greener is one of the brands that's introduced transparency. We guide students on grad applications, and we make sure that our students that we assist go through a very transparent process and work on the applications. Through our mentorship programs, we have mentored a lot of students and got admission. Myself, I'm a PhD researcher as well, and I've gone through the process. Over the years, I've coached many students from different countries for grad applications. Some of our students are lecturers, some are in the US, Canada, and the other countries. So if you are here this evening, you are going to learn a lot from our experience and how you can be able to work on your application. So many students think that admission is only about GPA or ranking of university when they're applying. Some of the things that once they are coming from a top university, it means that the application will be considered. Okay, so if you are going to apply to come to the US, nobody really care about ranking of your home country university. Okay, so those things can matter, but they are not the full picture of grad applications. Okay, so if you want to apply for grad applications, you want to make sure that you meet all other areas of the requirements. Okay, so the admission committees are asking a simple question: does this applicant look prepared for this program? For example, if you're applying for a public health program and you are from different field, so they want to see if we are really prepared. Even if you are for the same field, how prepared are you? So we'll go deep into that, and you can understand all that you need. Okay. So they also want to look at the big picture. Okay. They want to look at the big picture of your profile. So PhD application have a high rejection rate. Okay. So many qualified students apply for a PhD program, but they don't get accepted. And over the years, we have received so many emails. This year alone, a lot of students. I don't know. Those who are conducting, most of them have applied just this year, and they all get rejected. So many people. So you want to make sure that you want to do something differently, present quality documents, good skills, and make sure that you are really ready for this program you want to apply to. So the first thing they look at is your academic preparation. So your grades matter a lot, but let's bet you have to do something differently. Okay, so your grades matter because they give the committee some a signal. Okay, if you look at it, if you have like 3.5, 3.2, 3.9, 3.9, like 5.0, I mean, all that, it just gives a signal to the admission committees that, okay, this student is good. Okay, so the admission process has so many requirements. You have to meet the department's grade requirements. So the grade requirement, most of the schools set it to be like 3.0. Some of the school 3.2, some of the school 3.3, some of the school 3.5. So the further you meet that GPA requirement, that does not mean that you are going to get admission by default. No, it doesn't work that way. So you have to meet other requirements. So GPA is very, very important. It gives a good signal, but that alone doesn't decide whether you are going to be admitted to a program. Okay, so a student may have good GPA, may still submit weak application. Okay, so last time I was speaking to a student, the student had 3.8 on 4, and he applied to a school, he didn't get admission. So he came to us, and there was a bit of bragging that I have good GPA, applied to this university, and I didn't get admission. Okay, so I asked that, can you send me your document, your CV, and then we look at it. So looking at the whole document, the profile is a main problem. So you can have the GPA. The GPA is just one part of the application process, and that alone doesn't decide your admission or funding. In fact, your GPA alone can help you get admission. But when it comes to the funding part of the application process, that's where you are going to be missing out if you present a very weak application. And you will know soon what's the meaning of weak application. Okay, so some students may also have average GPA, like 3.0 on the dot, 3.1, 3.2, get funding, and a student with 3.5, no funding. And you will be looking at that very soon. Now, the next thing they look at is, are you fit into the program? The program that you are applying to, are you fit? Are you fit in terms of research-wise? And also looking at your field that you've studied before. Do you have some correction in any of the field that you come to study? Okay, so for example, if you are from mathematics and you are going to do statistics, and over the years you haven't studied more of statistics, of course, mathematics can do so many programs. But if you lack some skills in statistical background, you may not be considered for admission. So you always want to make sure that when you are moving from a different field to another field, your program, your research interests aligns with the program that you're applying to. So many people want to move to different fields, but their research areas doesn't align. And when you want to divert to a different field, you want to make sure that you are choosing a program that really aligns with what you want to do for your PhD or master's. So this session is for people who are going for master's program and also a PhD program. Those are the things that you want to focus if you are here today. So the next thing they look at is your SOP. So this is called statement of purpose. Meaning, if you are applying for grad applications, but now if you have known what's called an SOP and also your personal statement. Now, over the years, what I've seen from students is that SOP is just like a story, a life story. So many students start by talking about their past experience, past life experience, and also talking about when they were young, what they want to do, and all that. SOP is not just a life, it's not for you to come be telling your life story and the rest. We are looking at you presenting various paragraphs that talk about your academic background. Okay, we want to know your academic background and also your research interests. How do you link that to the field that you want to study and also the faculty that you want to work with? Those are the things that they are looking for. We are not, they are not looking for a student who come just talk about he took these courses, he have done this research, but you cannot connect the points. So SOP is there's no formula. I tell students that if you want to write SOP, there's no a single formula to write SOP. The formula depends on you, everybody, and how he or she starts the SOP writing. Okay, so if you want to write a good SOP, how do you start it? How do you connect the dots? How do you connect from your interest to the professor's interest to your research that you want to work on? Those are the things that they are going to pay attention on. So the SOP is not just a document that you just want to write and meet requirements. In fact, I review SOP for Chinese students, Black American, whites, Asian, different Blacks, African, everywhere. Okay, I review SOP, and what I've seen is that a lot of students put energy. In fact, there was a student who engaged 2 people to review their essays. In fact, we don't do ghostwriting, okay? But what we do is that we review your SOP to make sure that you meet the admission requirements. If your SOP is not good, you can apply to 10 universities and still get rejected. No matter your GPA, you may get admissions with no funding. When your GPA is good, you can meet the admission requirements. They may give you admission to you, but when it comes to the funding, your SOP and CV have to fight for you. If you don't have these key informations in your SOP, you may not be considered for admission. So the next thing that we are looking at is your CV. CV is a big problem for so many students. So many students cannot write good CV. I've seen CVs that's listed, some put their age, their hometown, and all that on their CV, and there's no concrete point for me to even to look at as somebody who is admission consultant. Okay, how more a professor. So CVs are not just there for you to just list bullet points and just go away. You want to apply for a PhD or master's research field. How do you connect your CV to let them know that you are ready for a grad admission? Okay, so if you apply for a PhD program and you want to just list your CV, there's no research interest, you don't have any part of your any section of your CV that talk about your research background, and some of you also just your past experience, you just list a bullet points. There's no concrete session that can actually tell the admission committees your past experience and what you can do. That's the most important thing. Now, if a prof is going to recruit a student to work on his lab, they will look at what are you bringing about. Do you have any special skills that when I recruit you to join my lab, you are going to contribute? Or are you not coming so that I will teach you from fresh? So they want to see a student who is ready for PhD program. So a lot of students don't have any analytical tools experience. Most students that I've seen only have SPSS. If you want to come to the US, SPSS cannot save you. You have to learn some skills, data analytical skills, to make your CV rich. If you don't have that on your CV, you cannot get admission. The next thing that they are looking at for is your reference. Now, a lot of students don't have reference. Some students, when they were in school, they were not involved in any school activities, or they don't participate in class discussions, and some of them, the lecturers don't even know them. So when you finish school and you reach out to your lecturers that, hey, I want a reference and I'll be glad if you can write one for me. Some of the lecturers may agree, but the content of what they are going to write is the big problem, because they don't know you. They have no formal information about you. So what would they write for you? So that's where the challenge comes from. So most students don't get admitted because of their reference. And this is a very, very serious situation. If you are from Africa, it means that you have to work hard and connect with your lecturers, because getting a reference sometimes can be a big challenge for so many students. So what do? You have to start your rapport with your lecturers early. You have everything in this life, you have to be intentional about it. If you want a reference, make sure you become a friend to the lecturers, because the content of the reference counts a lot. It's not just a matter of just anyone just writing reference for you. If the reference doesn't carry weight, doesn't carry points, like this student, when he was in school, he was engaging in class activities and he wrote this paper, he presented this group work, and he championed this course and all that. We want a lecturer who can actually write something that can let the lecturers, professors picture you in your application profile. Okay, so your CV, SOP, And sometimes your reference must be speaking one language. Okay, so if you say something different and your lecturer also says something different, that can also go against you. In fact, there are some students who have applied to universities, but they couldn't complete the course. They don't have reference. So it's something that you cannot dodge, and you want to work on it. Now, when it comes to the founding part of the application process, now the application process, if you apply for masters, is in 2 stages. So they review application for admission, and when it comes to funding, they apply some other requirements, because you are going to be paid to be paid. If it's assistantship, you are going to work with a professor, and it could be research work or teaching. And if you don't have any of those skills on your CV, and there's no potential in you, there's nothing that shows that you are indeed ready for grad school, funding may not come. That's why so many students got admission with no funding. Of course, there are some programs by default, they may not give you a full scholarship. So, for example, if you apply for MBA, business program, finance, accounting, supply chain, and some other programs, hardly will you get a full scholarship. Hardly. So sometimes some students don't know which program can give funding. So you just apply thinking that, oh, because your friends have also got funding, you can also just go to a school portal, just submit applications, and hoping that you get funding. Funding are determined sometimes based on the program you apply to. Okay, so for example, if you apply to master's program mechanical engineering to the US, most of the schools don't give funding to mechanical engineering students for master's program. So if you apply to start program masters, you may not get funding. So you have to be technical. You have to strategize, plan your application process very well, and know which program you can apply that can give you funding. So those are the key things that you want to pay attention to. Now, when it comes to the mistakes, I've seen a lot. Number one, which is common, but you may think or you cannot be a victim. Some students apply to multiple schools. So some attempted to use the same SOP for their application. So sometimes a student can write University of Michigan in the SOP, and when applying to a different school, the student forget to edit and then submit the same SOP for Michigan to, let's say, MIT. So in that case, you have already denied yourself admission. In fact, they see you to be a careless person. Then the next thing is that some students also, when they use their CV, because the programs are different, and also you are applying, you are going to mention some professors in your application. So it means that your research interests will be changing each time you apply to a different school. So some students don't make the changes, they use the same CV to apply, they become tired, and they just give up. So in that case, you are going to be seen like somebody who is not serious for the application process. And some students also start very late. So because of that, they are able to review their document very well. Look, let me just give a scenario. If you want to apply to grad school, do your mathematics very well. Instead of you rushing applying to 5 schools, instead of you to stay focused, start early, get guidance, let your document be reviewed, apply to 3 schools, and get a coach to guide you through the process. Which one is better than to apply to 5 universities with weak documents and get rejected? That's why we have provided series of kits, application toolkit that you can use for your grad application. In fact, a lot of students from different countries have used our toolkits, and it has really, really helped them. We have a student from Cameroon who used our toolkits to draft CV and SOP, and we review, and it was perfect. And that student went through. So we have a lot of services that meet every student needs. So, for example, like we have mentorship programs. If you want to enroll in our mentorship program, this is something that can really, really improve your application. Now, for example, like you applying for a grad. All right. So if you want to use our mentorship program, we have a mentorship program that we use as a tool to guide our students in the application process. So for example, like students enroll in our mentorship program, we are going to work on, we will guide you with your program selection. We also guide you how to work on your CV and your SOP. Very, very important. Instead of you to get guidance and spend less for your application fee and get professional guide for your services, some students, okay, let me try my luck. Application is not by a luck. It's by you presenting quality documents to win admission. So we have mentorship that we work with you from the beginning. And when it's time for mentorship, we will have a portal that we create for you. You have a sole advisor that is going to work on your application process, that will guide you how to work on your CV, your SOP, which program to choose, universities that you can apply to. And when you read all that stage, and then how to send code emails, very, very important for the application process. We also guide you how to write, we review your code emails, guide you through the process. And when you reach a stage where a professor wants to speak with you, we are going to mentor you, coach you, provide mock sessions, how you can be able to answer questions during the interviews. So those are things that we have, and we also have a toolkit that will help you with your application process. Yeah, so here's how our toolkit look like. Now, when you get our toolkit for your grad application, which a lot of students have used over the years, and it has really, really helped them. And our toolkit contains so many things that can really improve your application.